Well, hello and welcome. They've just added some new countdown timers. That was nice of them. I hadn't noticed them before. I hope you're doing well. Yes, I'm early again. I'm hoping to get to bed a little bit earlier tonight. It's been a quiet day around the traps. I mean, apparently the Prime Minister's secured 1 million Pfizer vaccines from Poland. Apparently Poland was wanting to get rid of the vaccines. So that's interesting. I've been accused of being fearful of COVID, even though I'm vaccinated. Well, I am. Well, I'm not fearful, but I'm very cautious because I am seeing what's happening around the world. Yeah. And there's been lots of discussion about locking down a state via Twitter message and not a media conference. What do you think about that? A Twitter message being sent telling that with 2 hours notice of a lockdown and no media conference. I've got Unirock has been spouting the fact that the court hearing was private and that everybody that got in are in trouble. Katie Joy's been very quiet today. Well, I think the thing that I have issues with, Robin, or the thing that I'm concerned about is that they're saying get vaccinated, get vaccinated, get vaccinated. That's great. But you can still get the Delta. I know you don't end up on the ventilator. You're not going to end up, on a ventilator. But you're still going to have to isolate. You can still pass it on. Why aren't they thinking? Why haven't they been thinking about, well, what happens when everyone's vaccinated and the bug is still around? Because Israel is at 80% vaccination and they're struggling with Delta at the moment. And from what I can see from parts of the world, they're still locking down. Hello, Christine. So they need to be also implementing social distancing, good hygiene, hand washing. All of those basic things still need to be drummed into people. Yourself was running a muck. So that's my concern. But I said to somebody, I'm not scared. I said, I'm just very well read. Hello, Carol T. So I'm happy to, I am vaccinated, but not everybody has the same standard that I do of cleanliness, I'm that person that has my thing of hospital grade wipes and I wipe down everything before I go near anything. Can we blame it on bruz? It would be really nice, though. Well, here's the question. With it being such a disaster, and Morrison seems to be throwing Morrison seemed to throw Gladys under a bus. Is her job safe? Well, the UK are starting on a third shot. I think the UK and the US have started on booster shots. So it is going to need a third shot. I mean, Australia hasn't even thought about that. They're so busy dithering for the first two. I know he was on the board for this. And now I heard a couple of things. Samantha Maiden spoke on Insiders today, and I'm not necessarily a fan. She was talking about the fact that Dr. Chant had been asking Gladys to lock down for about 2 weeks. Also, that the police commissioner had been asking for lockdown, and that somebody else, she was talking about the fact that everyone had been begging for lockdown. So this is Samantha Maiden on Insiders. As I said, I'm not really, but some of the stuff that she said, and she also says that it was Scott Morrison that told Gladys to lock down the state. So it wasn't her own decision. She was told, which proves that Scotty pulls the strings. Well, it's interesting, Thomas, because in Victoria, it's in the western suburbs, which is more of the poorer side of town. So, yeah, it's interesting, though. Let's have a look at this.
Well, really bad communication for starters. I mean, I was standing in that press conference on Friday and I got so cross listening to it. First of all, the Prime Minister needs to stop coming out in these press conferences with these 10-minute preambles where he's waffling on and it's not clear what the news is. Now, essentially, there was one piece of news that he really announced in that press conference, which was the most convoluted double negative. Essentially, what he was saying, as you said, was that if you are a business, you will not get sued if someone dies because you didn't make people vaccinated. Oh, great. We're meant to applaud that, are we? What about the person who's dead? What business want is really simple. They want clarity and leadership, and they're not getting that right now. And essentially, workers or employers have a responsibility to make their workplace safe. They were worried that they could get sued. So instead of providing more clarity to business, encouraging them to get their staff vaccinating, supporting them in that way, he's saying that his solution is to say, oh, don't worry, if someone dies, you won't get sued. I find that unbelievable.
Sam, do you think
I don't think we...
Do you think listening to Tony Burke that Labor's keen to take a strong position on this either?
No, because they're running scared now of the unions, which seem to have some view of that, you can't mandate it. Oh, great. I mean, look, small business has taken such a battering over.
So talking about, I think, yeah, so she's talking about they want clarity and leadership. Yeah. Well, yeah, and the trips to the hospital would be reduced, but you're still going to get it and you'll still probably have to isolate.
COVID, right? They have, they are on their hands and knees, and the least that we can give small business is some clarity and some help. And for the Prime Minister to keep saying that's up to the states, and maybe it is, but show some leadership, help these people. Your government and state governments has shuttered these businesses, and now you're telling them that they've got to operate in this environment of confusion over this issue. Now, at the very least, employers should be able to say that they're not hiring anyone unless they're vaccinated. Sure, you might be able to have exemptions. There's some people who can't have vaccinations, but by and large, you should be able to say as an employer that you need to show that you've been vaccinated before you can go to work. And I also worry as a parent, if I'm sending my children into a school, and I'm not saying it's the case with my kids' school, all the teachers are fabulous, but I don't want to send my kid into a classroom with some nutter anti-vaxxer teacher. Teachers need to be vaccinated. Children don't have the protection of vaccination. They should not be being put in classrooms with adults who are not vaccinated. That's how they're going to...
So that's that one. Really, there was another one she did. Where is it? Tony Burke. No, I can't find it now. It was the one that I saw was really cool. Oh, here we go. This one. So this is what happened inside the New South Wales government before the lockdown. This is very interesting.
Well, what went on is about an hour after that press conference at 11 a.m., Gladys Berejiklian received the sewage results from across the region showing that there were outbreaks now spreading throughout the regional areas of New South Wales. That's something that Linda Silmalis has reported in the Sunday Telegraph today, along with the Prime Minister's office or people in his orbit helpfully confirming that Scott Morrison urged her to consider a statewide lockdown earlier in the week. So once again, we have this situation where as soon as Gladys Berejiklian backflips, whether it's over the army being called in or whether it's in this case about a harder, stronger statewide lockdown, you have the Morrison government pointing out we told you so, and that National Security Committee of Cabinet had considered this, and this was also the thinking of Paul Kelly. But to sort of have an understanding of the pattern here, and the pattern is that they're urged to do something and that they dither, you actually have to go back to Tuesday when the New South Wales Police Commissioner Mick Fuller and the Police Minister David Elliott actually said to Gladys Berejiklian and Brad Hazzard that they needed tougher rules, that it was difficult to enforce the health orders from an enforcement point of view, that it needed to be clearer. They had those meetings during the week. There was some sort of agreement on that, but there was a suggestion that at these meetings when this idea was first raised that Brad Hazzard described them as waffle. Then you have the delay, then you apparently have health bureaucrats watering it down, then you have David Elliott blowing up on Friday, and then you have that 10:30 p.m. announcement that they're basically going to go with the 5K limits, and they've overturned half of what happened in crisis cabinet. Bearing in mind, and I find this hard to believe, the police minister is not in the crisis cabinet. Apparently, Gladys Berejiklian's press secretary is in crisis cabinet, but the police minister is not. Now, apparently he's not blowing up about this, but frankly, he should. And, you know, like, Gladys Berejiklian wants to talk about this being a war. Well, at this stage, this is the landing of Gallipoli, right? And, you know, this is a shocking result in New South Wales. Someone has to take responsibility for it. At least in Victoria, the health minister resigned. I think you're going to see growing calls for somebody to resign in New South Wales.
So there you go. So do you think someone's going to have to resign? Will Hazzard be the... Will Hazzard be the sacrificial lamb? Yes. Have you seen Sammy J's Byron Bay video, Tom? It's actually really funny. Let me pull that up. We may as well, because I really have not much to talk about, so we may as well try and have a little bit of a plan. All right. I know the Gallipoli landing was rude. I actually thought it was very insensitive myself, short order cook. I really did. I have to say it. I thought that was insensitive. Right. So this is tough times for Byron Bay. Apologies to anyone in Byron Bay.
Everyone, thank you for your attendance. I've just come from the national locker room with the chief health officers, and it is with a heavy...
That's the link to the. That's the link to this video, the Sammy J video.
The heart that I announce Byron Bay has gone into lockdown. Byron Bay has gone into lockdown. Sorry. No, I got it. I can confirm someone from Sydney has travelled to Byron Bay against health advice to look at property. And tragically, they were unsuccessful at multiple auctions. Oh, and they tested positive for COVID, so now we've had to lock the whole place down. So to the people in Byron Bay, there are now only 5 reasons to leave your wellness centre. 1, to pick up your caftan from the dry cleaners. 2, if you're a millionaire and you have to kick a tenant out of your investment property. I mean, you can't do that over Zoom. You've got to be there in person. You know, really enjoy it.
I laugh every time I watch this. I'm sorry if you're from Byron Bay.
3, if a drum circle is missing a player. 4, fake tan or a pre-existing anal bleaching appointment. Pre-existing. 5, to attend an anti-vaxxer protest. Now, of course, essential workers are still allowed to operate, so shops selling white linen dresses, scented candles and dream catchers can remain open. You will be allowed to have one bubble buddy, one of you must be playing Redemption Song on the guitar at all times. Sorry, that's the health advice. Everyone will still be allowed 1 hour's exercise to check on your weed crop in the National Forest. And on that note, ScoMo is planning to drop by in the next week to show his support. I know he can't hold a hose, but locals are hoping he can cut one up and put it in a juice bottle. Now,
Hello, the fox. How are you? Oh. One other media comment I can't think of. Someone else has compared it to Gallipoli as well. I think that's what the media is trying to do, and they're going for outrage. They want people to be outraged. So,
I just want to add, if you are an Instagram influencer, you will be allowed out for 2 hours a day to take photos on the beach at sunrise. We understand it can take a long time to get that perfect shot. Hashtag YOLO, hashtag sponsored, hashtag living my best life. Masks must be worn at all times, unless you're standing near Pete Evans. And haircuts are forbidden.
Masks, did you hear that? Masks must be worn at all times unless you're standing next to Pete Evans.
Won't affect most of you. Now, in order to enforce these measures, we will be bringing in the army, an army of spiritual healers who will be going door to door to realign everyone's chakras. We'll also be redirecting all kombucha supplies from Brisbane and Melbourne and starting a drive-through acai berry hub. So is it acai or acai?
Hello, Plant Prayer. I forgot that you had your live. Otherwise, I wouldn't have started. I forgot. So I apologise. I was just sitting here wondering what to do, and I thought, I'll go live. So I apologise, Plan to Create, because normally I watch it. Well, I have a feeling that we're going to be locked down for a little bit longer in Melbourne. I just have a feeling. Because some idiots decided to do a pub crawl the other day. Did you hear about that? Some pub crawl in St Kilda. They all paid $10 a head and went on a walk crawl between all these pubs.
Because it seems to Lucidilla, but everyone says acai. Look, it's hard to pronounce. It's a hippie berry. Berries are banned, full stop. Now, please, with regard to panic buying, there has been a run on essential oils, so a limit is now in place. But as usual, the shelves are fully stocked with deodorant and all forms of Western medicine. Of course, none of what I've just said applies to Hollywood stars who are free to come and go at their leisure, as per usual. In fact, can I just take a moment to applaud Zac Efron for his role in Baywatch the movie? It was a vastly underrated piece of cinematic beauty. I mean, people say David Hasselhoff defined that role, but they clearly haven't seen The Rock in action. A lot of people have played Hamlet, but only 2 people have played Mitch Buchanan. Finally, if your name is Tarquin or Moonbeam, I can't help it. But I will say this, and let me be very clear. If you are displaying symptoms like coughing or wheezing, it's time to pass on the spliff. These are tough times. Sharing is caring. And can I just finish by saying I know the good people of Byron Bay will do the right thing. I mean, if anyone's going to listen to and respect government orders, it'll be rich people and hippies. Coach out.
So that was Sammy J's video, of Byron Bay. Yeah. Yeah, so it was extended for a week, but they're already, the Herald Sun's already putting out they started a headline to say that we'll be locked down for another week. The other thing the media is trying to do is they're trying to get Dan to absolutely criticise Gladys, and he won't. He did say, though, he knew, he understood what it was like to be hounded by the media. So... So anyway, So that was Sammy J's. Yes, he is, isn't he? It is a bit ironic. That's what I think makes it funny. The irony in it, I think, is what makes it funny. Oh, that's good. So behind every joke is an element of truth. Yeah, I think there is behind every joke. As I said, I often make jokes to hide my pain. So often there is an element of truth behind some of my jokes, not all of them, behind some of them. So John Barilaro seems to be blocking everybody. There's a hashtag called blocked by Katie Joy. Well, there's becoming a hashtag about everyone is showing someone that says, who doesn't have one of these at this point? You're blocked from following John Barilaro. And one of the things that people were saying is that if John Barilaro has half of regional New South Wales blocked and the health orders were shared by Twitter, how could they get the message? Because he had everyone blocked. You've not missed much, John Green. To be honest with you, you haven't missed much at all. So, yes, everyone is showing their blocked by bruz screenshots as a bit of pride. I'm not blocked yet. I can't get myself blocked. Don't know why. Oh, look, there I am. Yeah. So we need to get blocked by bruz trending. So what do you think about going back to Afghanistan? We've just come back and now we're sending people back. And I assume that the US and the UK are also sending people. Is that how I get blocked? Did I ask him? And the fact that we've got to go back, does that mean that we left too early? I've just noticed that I don't know. No, he hasn't made any more comments. He only made the one, which is fine. They just surrendered to the Taliban, did they? Left too early? I did wonder whether we left too early. Breaking news. Okay. Well, bruz, yeah. It says, well, according to this, well, I mean, I'm only going by what's come up in my Twitter feed. It says here The Taliban and Afghan government are in talks for a peaceful transition of power. But I also saw that we're going back. So Kabul will be handed over to the Taliban and an interim government led by the group will be formed. President Biden has approved deployment of an additional 1,000 troops to ensure an ordinary safe drawdown of US personnel and other allied personnel ahead of the scheduled withdrawal of US and NATO from Afghanistan from August 31. I thought we'd already come home, and yet we're going back. So Russia does not plan to evacuate its Kabul embassy, saying that they've instructed their forces not to cross the gates of Kabul and take the cities by force. Enter Kabul. Oh, it's been over 20 years, isn't it? Didn't Howard do it for us? Was it Howard that sent them? It says amid Taliban's rapid gains, US, British and Canadian forces are rushing troops in to help their diplomatic staffs withdraw. I'm sure that Australia's going back. Is that what I saw? Australia's sending troops immediately. So they're sending troops in to get people out, is my understanding. Is that correct? So he deployed 5,000 troops and then another 1,000 troops. I thought Australia was going. We do lose enough. So anyway, they're Russian troops back, is my understanding. Let's see what we can find here. I'm sure I read it. Here we go. So the last lot of troops left on the 30th of June. This was posted, this was updated 6 hours ago. Then it says, Australian military to evacuate hundreds from Afghanistan. Australian military will embark on a dangerous mission. So they're sending the RAAF across. Are expected to arrive in Kabul as early as this week to begin an evacuation, coordinated with the US and British. Can reveal the hastily organised air bridge mission will involve Australian customs and immigration personnel, as well as consular and foreign service officers. Among those evacuated will be Afghan interpreters and contractors who served alongside the Australian Defence Force, Australians working for Afghan and international charities and non-government organisations will be offered evacuation, as well as journalists and some citizens. Australia quietly withdrew the last of its defence and civilian personnel from Afghanistan on June the 18th. Despite serious doubts about the strategic wisdom of the retreat. So yeah. So Australia will help those who aided us. So apparently some of those families are going to be settled in Australia, from what I can work out. So they've sent 600 troops from the yeah. They haven't said how many is going, other than the fact that there are they just said RAAF planes. So they've not actually said how many are going. But it's interesting because yeah, I don't know. That's not been said where they're evacuating them to. I don't know where they're going to evacuate them. I don't know whether they're bringing them home or whether they're taking them somewhere else. Just said they're going to evacuate them. But yeah, I don't know where they're evacuating them to. Yes, so Australia has secured more COVID vaccines from Poland and young people to be. See, this is young people. We know that this strain is prevalent in, is shown in children, but we still have a lot of the vulnerable not vaccinated. It says Australia received an extra 1 million Pfizer doses from Pfizer, with young people in COVID-affected area parts of Sydney to be given priority. Earlier today, a plane left Dubai, having left Warsaw last night, with discussions with the Polish government and have secured 1 million doses of Pfizer. Oh, some of the interpreters have been denied. Wow, that's not good. I'm not happy about that. So 530,000 of those will go to 12 local government areas in Sydney. The rest will be divided up between the rest of Australia, because let's face it, there's a state in Australia. Sorry to people in New South Wales. That's my sarcasm. Our rivalry. The 1 million doses are on top of the 40 million Australia has already locked in, but where are they? The first delivery from Poland is expected to arrive in Australia late tonight, with more scheduled later this week. They'll be targeting 16 to 39-year-olds, the ones that are mobile because of their work. There are ones who cross 3 generations. So, but the people that are missing out at the moment are the vulnerable and the First Nations people. So here you go, 15 million doses. Says we can expect to reach the 40 million doses needed to fully vaccinate Australia's adult population early in December. Yeah, a lot of the other states have said that that's not fair. That they've, because every state needs vaccinations, but yeah. Anyway. Okay, so let's go down. So Haiti had a earthquake, 7.2 magnitude earthquake, killing more than 300 people. I didn't hear the Prime Minister make an announcement about that today. I must have missed her. Well, I think the people that have invested in Pfizer have done well, haven't they? Let's be honest. But I haven't heard the Prime Minister make a statement about Haiti. Their earthquake killing 300 people. That would be horrible. And Japan had another mudslide and rain and flooding. So let's have a look at this one. I heard Biden speak about it for some reason. For some reason, I heard Biden's speech, but I didn't see. I watched Dutch Sense. He calls the earthquake. Okay, cool. Yeah, so on Saturday, the western part of the nation killing at least 304 people, injuring many others. The AFP news agency reports the damage comes as so they've got a tropical storm coming as well. So they've got a state of emergency which will last for a month, and the US has authorized the immediate response. So, but as I said, I haven't heard. There's the Prime Minister. I didn't hear anything from our Prime Minister talking about Prime Ministers. 7.2 is pretty big, isn't it? This is the Prime Minister, I think.
On task force pour un moment de solidarité, mais solidarité structurée. Nous ne voulons pas être venir n'importe qui, gens. Nous voulons coordonner aide là pour que ni moun kap bayou, ni moun kap recevoir pas frustré. Donc nous mettons en task force pour coordonner aide là. Pour ça que passé le 10 janvier, pas repasser là. C'est parce que nous allons faire une évaluation. Nous disons plusieurs va arriver. Il y a des gens qui mourent, il y a des cas qui tombent, il y a même l'hôpital, il y a l'infrastructure qui tombe. On va vérifier pour moi qui ça a fait et qui j'en a organisé aide là.
There you go, Haiti. So Haiti had a big earthquake, 7.2. What did I say? 300 people are dead. So, hello, Cheap Glass. How are you? I hope the parents make their kids wear their masks because, oh, wow. So they're going back to school. So I was wondering whether to play you part of Unirock's Twitter thing today, where he was talking about all the naughty people that went into the court. But I got so angry because we all know it was public. And he goes, and he reckons the best part is Unirock reckons that he called the court on a Saturday. A courthouse is open on Saturday. By chance, or is he just talking out of his butt? Because if it's anything like our courthouses, they close. whether they're not or not. Yeah, well, as I said, I think we'll be in at least for this month, maybe part of next month. Oh no, he's not. I haven't switched him back on. Ralph isn't listening. Thank you for reminding me, Short Order Cook. I turned Ralph off for church on a Sunday, and I forgot to turn him back on. I already know the answer to the fox. I'd already done that, but I wanted to just make sure that I had read right. My understanding is that they are closed on weekends. Right, Ralph is on now. He should be on. Oh. Well, it was quiet. I can't have Ralph talking in church. Hopefully that's working. It says it's on. All right. So this is Unirock. This is his Twitter. He did this. So we know that we had somebody in our chat last night that said that they got into the court, that they had emailed the court, they got into the court, and it wasn't a public hearing. All right, have a listen to this. This is Unirock. We know what Unirock's like.
And let's see if we get connected here. Okay, real quick recap. I just want to see what everyone has to say for the end of this Periscope. I had to grab a Red Bull. You got purple. Craig says, thanks for the update. Are you having an issue with Rockalots?
Oh, they're open on Saturday? Wow. Really? Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Ralph is woken up. I thought that it was. I didn't think that courthouse was open on Saturdays. I'll have a look.
Streams being unlisted. Again. Yes, I am. I just relisted 2 of them. I thought I'd fix.
So the courthouse that Joy was at is open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Yeah. So some of them might be, but hers isn't. But Unirock will actually say that they rang the court on the Saturday, which what I'll do is I'll pull up the courthouse and we'll have a look. I went to, and it's closed. Okay. Yeah, Wright County is the one that is the other one.
It. I think it's YouTube's new studio. But what I've been doing is I uncheck where, I did that test stream. Maybe that test stream's video after it ends. But for some reason, it's still keeping that clicked to try to make sure it actually goes public.
It takes a while to get into it. So I'm just going to.
It's on per Minnesota law, and it's the weirdest answer.
All right, here we go.
Based on per Minnesota with LMN.
Here we go.
On the video that we're talking about now, and I'm going to see what I got to do to try to make sure it actually goes public.
So now he's about to talk about it, and he's going to talk about how there's been contact with the court on a Saturday, and yeah, no Unirock. And I have got some evidence to show you as well, because I did say to someone who questioned me once, I said, you should know me by now that I just don't say things for the sake of saying them. I always can back them up. So I'm going to back up what I've got to say.
Instead of unlisted. I know it sucks. Okay, here's the catch up. Yesterday, Katie had her RO hearing. They healed and pushed back because it was a private hearing. The court has confirmed this, and there are so many accounts out there. When you ask them about this, like if you try to ask them, like, Where did you get the password? The court's password? They'll
Yes, the court sent the password.
come back and say, I got the password how the court told me I had to based on per Minnesota law, and it's the weirdest answer. Instead of saying, yeah.
Actually, either people said that was also on the website, some people said it was emailed to them.
Here's the image of the court giving me permission to enter in the password. I have not seen anyone do that yet. So that is what these scopes are for. The last scope told you what happened last night, what we tried to do. Today, I'm trying to not do a video where I go on and say the people who claim to have gotten permission to join the court are not being honest. I don't want to have to say that on my video. So I'm hoping this video.
So here we go. Look at this. I'm going to show you. Yes, this is my files. I got nothing. I don't care whether you want to like look at my stuff or not, to be honest with you. It's just boring stuff. Here we go. He said no one showed evidence. You're about to see it. Look at this. From the 10th right civil family, civil case. Oops. Do not reply courts at state.mn.us, MJ. So you had to fill in your details. This one says, good afternoon. I would like to query as to whether the case number, Paulson versus McDermott, is a public hearing. If it is public, how can it be accessed online? Hello? It's all there. Anyway, he's saying
We'll hopefully have some of the people out there who say they got permission from the court to join this. They're claiming the court made a mistake and that the court did send invites to people. The evidence we have shows the opposite. We've checked it with the court with a phone call from the YBI, and we've checked it by asking Katie.
So they've checked with Katie, and they checked with the court. Apparently, there's a false document going. So the allegation that he's making is that it's come from Little Miss Noble. That's the only way it could have got out.
Through an individual I have in the YBI who can. Katie came back and said that her lawyer confirmed that that document is sealed and shouldn't have been shared. And we have emails showing it was shared.
So he's saying there's proof, but I've just shown you the proof where the question was asked. If it's public, how do I view it? And of course, totally clueless. They'll say it's a spoof email. Of course. I have no doubt on Monday morning the court is going to get inundated with people to find out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Checked with a phone call on a Saturday. The court's closed. It closed at 4:30 p.m. on Friday. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Unirock sits on the electric wire, jumping up and down with his pants on fire. Laugh, kookaburra, laugh. Sorry, I didn't do that. That was just spontaneous. But anyway.
So I don't know what happened, but I do have a feeling what happened. I hope that
this is now his speculation.
People out there who most everyone who joined that the like 30 or 40 accounts that tried to join that hearing yesterday are all people who demand Katie to be honest. They are all people that criticize Katie for lying and doing skeezy things she's not supposed to. And most all of them have criticized her for doing things far lesser than what I'm describing.
Yes, that's right. They would have had a know. They would know that by the number of inquiries they had, how many people that were going to be at the court, and then they would know that there'd be always a few extras. So what I heard was that Katie didn't like the fact that there were people there, and she was claiming that it should be private. Good morning, tuning into I know. Yeah.
You know, lying to the public, saying that they had permission to join a hearing when it was a private hearing. That
no one's lying to the public. And we had someone in our chat last night who said they got in. They emailed the court, they got sent the link, and they got in.
They weren't given permission for, due to the fact that they all submitted to join but were denied, and instead, because LMN had shared to either EKC or Steve McCrae or another member of the cult, because they all are very close to LMN, she shared it to a member of the cult, and the member of the cult went out and started giving it to people who they wanted to help record it. Of course, the cult themselves were probably nervous about recording it.
So it's the cult. It's the cult now.
Because the court did also tell us this. Now, I didn't tell you guys this in the last video on purpose, but I'm telling you now. The court also confirmed that many people had been calling the court all day asking about Katie's case. And because of that, when the YBI called and said, I need to know if a case is either private or public, the court already knew what case was being talked about.
So people wanted to find out about the case. So he's saying the YBI apparently is the YouTube Bureau of Investigation or something. I don't know. Human is stupid. I know. It's ridiculous. Right? So now he's using everyone's been calling up that when they rang, they already knew what the case was. Listen.
And confirmed it with the caller and told them many people had been calling and asking, and the court said they told everybody who called that it was a private hearing.
Really? That's not what the screenshot said. That's not what the email said.
Though, if you go to Twitter, then look at what people are trying to tell people. I found it shocking that none of the people who called, which would have been a good number of people, why did any of them not post in response to someone who was saying the opposite? Hey, I just called the court, and the court is saying that it was private. It looks like Katie has been telling the truth on this issue.
No, it wasn't my request. No, I didn't put a request in, but I have emailed the court because I'm just interested to know. I've done it as a research purpose. I said I was media. No, I didn't. No, I did. I just said, look, I'm from Australia. I've got an interest in courts. So for the Bruz and Friendly Geordies case, you get sent a link and you just click on the link. I saw public information including password of how to join by telephone online. I did too, because that's how I was going to join, Christine. I was going to join because it was on the website, which I was really surprised. I actually was very surprised about that it was online, because as I said, in Australia, I had to, for the Australian case, I actually had to email the court and you get a link and you click on the link and it takes you straight in.
It looks like, now a lot of people did, and that Katie is misusing the court system to try and get an RO against LMN. Now, one of the main people doing that is the cult leader, Steve McCrae. And
the cult leader. I need to show you also Katie's Twitter and Instagram because, again, she's back on that. Did you say that I work for Geordies? No, I don't work for Geordies. I'd like to. I'm available. my work on my university, my Aus study finishes in November, and my contract expires in December. For my current job, I need money. I need work. I'm available. Unless I get accepted to into the masters, then I can continue on with Aus study. But
the cult around him is, of course, repeating his narrative because they are a cult. They don't think for themselves, and they repeat other people's lies, which makes.
Oops. So he's saying, and he's also stating that it's sealed. It's not sealed. That's the other thing that I want to find out.
His narrative because they are a cult.
I've also asked the court whether the records are sealed and whether copies are. I don't want a copy. I just want to know whether I could get one if I wanted one.
They can say, "I'm going to kill her."
Oh, here we go.
And they repeat. Is, of course.
So they're using that phone conversation, which I don't know. I can't say 100% that it was Little Miss Noble's voice, in my opinion.
Narrative that LMN did nothing wrong, and that Katie is misusing the court system to try and get an RO against LMN. Now, one of the main people doing that is the cult leader, Steve McRae, and the cult around him is, of course, repeating his narrative because they are a cult. They don't think for themselves, and they repeat other people's lies, which makes them one of the reasons they're a cult.
Really? We repeat lies? Well, I mean, he said that he checked with Katie and she confirmed. But they were talking to... No, they weren't talking to V, from what I can understand. They weren't. He's not in... His name's only on the order. I don't believe they're talking to him. Oh, sorry. They were talking to Chloe. Yes, they were talking to Chloe. Yes. But I don't know who. They're saying that that's Little Miss Noble and Dustin, but I haven't heard Dustin's voice. Have you heard Dustin's voice? They've said, Katie Joy has said that's Dustin's voice, but I don't know what Dustin's voice looks like, sounds like. Initially, they said it was Tina's voice, and then it got changed to Little Miss Noble's voice. I don't know. But they were talking to Chloe, yeah. So...
And Steve is underneath people like Truth Sleuth and other people saying that it's a misuse of the court system for Katie to file this RO. So basically that means, Steve, you're saying that you think it's okay for people to tell other people while trying to make them think they're talking to the fake YouTuber that they're impersonating to a mentally ill woman. They can say, I'm going to kill her, literally kill her. Do you know what the word literally means, Steve? Let me give you a definition. Literally means they're not joking.
I don't think that's meaning of... well, I mean, based on what Katie did yesterday, where she named her and accused her of letting all of that information out and gave her full name, she could essentially do a breach of order. Literally, I've just put it into Google, in a literal manner or sense, exactly. That's not, listen, he goes, this is the definition of literal.
To a mentally ill woman, they can say, I'm going to kill her, literally kill her. Do you know what the word literally means, Steve? Let me give you a definition. Literally means they're not joking. It's not sarcasm. It's not hyperbole. That they literally mean what the words are coming out of their mouth. Now, what?
Well, that's not what my dictionary says. In a literal sense or manner, a word that uses the ordinary or primary meaning of a term or expression. He took the remark literally, a word that can be both used literally and figuratively, from Merriam-Webster. Well, that's my other point, the false. You're pretty sure that's not the Oxford? No, When he goes, let me give you the definition, I was going, what definition? What dictionary is that?
The words that came out of their mouth. They're going to kill her. Literally going to kill her. Means that, yes, it is a literal death threat. So Steve McRae doesn't think you can file an RO against someone who makes a death threat towards you on the internet. If you can't file an RO because somebody makes a death threat on you, then what can you file a fucking RO on, Steve?
Excuse me, Unirock. Oh, gee whiz, I didn't know. Oh. Excuse me, Unirock. Ralph doesn't like that language.
Corrupt cult leader mind is evil. Anything Katie does is evil, is what I'm saying. So anyone that goes in to defend her is evil. Anyone that goes in and says anything that could be bad for her is a hero. This is one of the reasons pushing these extreme ideas on people that he's a cult leader and that the people around him are a cult. Boomy Morgan, EKC, the entitled Karen cult. What are they called when people answer the phone when you got someone? The entitled Karen cult secretary, EKC.
Ralph's asleep. Yeah, Ralph is asleep. Yeah, well, that's right. He's annoying. As I said, I got really, really angry at this because I know that the information was on the website. I know that people got in, and I know it was a public hearing, that it wasn't private. She wants, thing is, it's Katie Joy that wants it private. It's her that wants it private. What I could imagine doing, she could say, Your Honor, we need to make this private because all my haters are here and all my trolls are here and all my haters are here. And he's going, but I thought you had a restraining order against this person because she's the hater and the stalker. Oh no, but they're part of the cult. And the judge has gone, I don't get paid enough for this. I'll see you in October, 2 months before I retire.
And Cheshire, all these people are a cult. Because if he espouses a narrative, they not only go out and push it, they will lie for it. And if you show them any evidence that debunks them on a narrative they're pushing from their cult leader, they will enact a set of responses to it that will try and...
So it's just like Katie Joy saying that harassment order is private. And as I said, I wrote an email to court to find out whether it was private or not, because it says on the Minnesota court site that as soon as the other party has received it, it's public record. So how is that different? I don't know. It's like, this is what it is like. It's like KJ had that quiet day today, and she's had her little minion, Unirock, spouting off her narrative today. That's what it's like. She goes, Uni, I'm having the day off. You go spout off. You keep to the narrative.
Distract. They'll attack. They'll make fun of. They'll block people at the end of their little tactic. Those tactics are what make them a cult. The fact that they knowingly and willingly do this makes them a cult. And the fact that this cult is involved with the RO hearing backs up what I said, what they were attacking Charlotte and Waxy for, realizing that these people are a cult. They are so cultish. They are willing to try. And maybe that's why certain YouTubers tried to join this hearing. Maybe the cult lied to them and told them it was...
Well, I think so too, because there's another attack today. Short order cook, maybe because she doesn't want everybody to see what she's got, maybe, or what she doesn't have. Remember, she said there was mountains and mountains of evidence. My theory, this is my tinfoil hat theory, is that she never expected Little Miss Noble to defend herself, and just by saying, I've got enough evidence, they won't ever win. And Little Miss Noble's now defended herself, and now she's scrambling to try and get the information together, which she doesn't have, because she can't prove, in my opinion, that that is Little Miss Noble's voice. It sounded like, anyway, so, yeah.
Public, maybe the cult lied to them and gave them the access saying that they were allowed to. It's no big deal. But if the court tells you you can't join, that would debunk that.
It's up to the court. If the court decided that there was enough people, maybe the system could ever, maybe the way they had Zoom set up, only they got the maximum. So you can actually, we found this out the first time we did university as a combined class. We discovered that there was a setup in Zoom that only allowed you to have 30 people on, and we've got 45 people in the cohort. So they had to go into settings and extend it. It's now a lot bigger, but maybe they didn't, maybe they couldn't let any more in because it was full.
So, I mean, it's almost like they expected this, but do you realize you're basically handing Katie a restraining order? If it turns out that LMN did share those PDFs, and it turns out that that's how all these people bombarded the meeting, you do realize that backs up Katie in what she's saying. You do also realize that backs up me. Why would, if Steve McCrae knows nothing about LMN like he told us, why is he on her side when she's death threatening Katie and saying disgusting things about Katie's son? Did you know there's a recording of LMN making Nat watch a child get murdered?
Really? I'm sorry, I didn't know that this was in here. Again, how do we know? No, this is what I want to know.
And no, that's not an exaggeration. So, one of the YBI members said that it affected them for the whole day after watching it. So we do know LMN was a member of the cult. We know that she was getting orders from Tina Alcuccio and EKC People Suck. Now, Nat was manipulated by Tina Alcuccio, and Tina told Nat that she needed to listen to every word that LMN told her. LMN was trustable. LMN's a good person. Now, Tina Alcuccio is literally Steve McCrae's left-hand cult, person.
Oh, good luck to, I know. Well, as I said, he retires in December, according to the website, unless that's made up too. Are they going to tell me that that's made up too? Oh. Hello. Did I say hello, Princess, to you, Princess Jax? I apologize if I haven't said hello to you yet.
Along with Cheshire, along with EKC and others. So the fact that we are starting to get close and getting more and more proof that this cult is working to try to help LMN, this cult is trying to do what they wanted to record this so that they then could selectively show you parts of the hearing and try to convince people that LMN was targeted by Katie with a fake RO like Steve. It is their mission. The people involved in this mission are Tina Alcuccio, EKC People.
No, I just object to the fact that she was named that she's been named by Katie. That's what I object to.
Suck and Steve and Chesh, obviously, and some of their other people, because they've put their cult enforcers out there doxing, threatening, and harassing anyone that's looking to prove the truth behind what's going on in this situation.
Hi, Dawn. Yes, this is Uni spouting.
With this cult, with these RO.
Everybody faked anybody that said they got the link from the court are lying, because He rang the court on a Saturday and they said that it was private. But we know the court's not open on Saturday because I checked.
Those with threats behind it. But I'm telling you, I don't care how much they threaten me, dox me, attack my family, which is all happening thanks to this cult of people, including Steve McRae, EKC, and the others. None of them are speaking against this. This is still publicly available on YouTube. And they were in the chat supporting this bullshit when it was happening. And I don't care how much they come at me. You'd think they'd realize it by now. It's not going to stop me or affect me in any way. But it'll make sure that I cover this story, though. Because I was thinking about moving on from this story for a few weeks. I always take giant breaks from this story when it comes to this cult of people, and especially the cult leader. And the reason I take big breaks from it is because weeks or even months, but I just want to make sure everybody's on point. Due to the fact that they've been doing this bullshit lately, we're going to make sure we get to the bottom of what's going on. And we're going to make sure we prove it to you with the court and with their information and working with any of the lawyers involved in this to make sure that an independent source on YouTube actually goes in, gets the information from all these people, and puts out what's really happening. Because this cult, they use every tactic in the book to try to dissect any event so they can lie about it and then categorize it as if they're a victim. It's called DARVO. First, they deny. So they deny they're working with LMN. They deny that they really work with Tina Alcucci. They deny they've done these things. Then they attack people that criticize them and share the story. Then they reverse the victim offender role, where they go around telling a crafted lie narrative, cherry picking things, lying about things to make them the victim and make their criticizer the actual culprit or the bad guy involved. The victim offender role is flip-flopped for DARVO to be complete. They're not there to tell you the truth of a story. They're not there to prove with evidence. They'll tell you something. They'll get up there and explain how something's true. But anyone that asks for evidence will be told to DM them, and they'll give you the evidence in private. Why? They won't show publicly the evidence that they fake and cherry pick because they know people will come in and break it apart. So the only thing you can believe going out there right now when it comes to people that are making giant claims are the people that back it up with evidence. And that is why we are fact-checking these things with the court, and it's why we are fact-checking things with the lawyers involved so that they can't then claim that, oh, this YouTuber is jealous of this YouTuber and all this garbage. And in reality, I don't know how anybody is jealous of anybody in this situation. Unless you are jealous of Katie's high subscriber numbers, any channel under like 30, 40, 50 thou isn't really making that much money and isn't doing anything that great. I got to go, though, because I got peeps about to leave the house. I just got back to the house, and I want to...
All right, there you go. So that was his waffle. No plan to create. There's nothing on the website. Yeah, we're all liars. Everyone's a liar, apparently. So, because her case is still listed, so they do them 7 days at a time, so you can't actually find anything in the future. Security group indicated. I'm just looking on my phone. No, look, I'll pull it up. Minnesota Court, right account. So let's see what we can find here. Okay, so here is the court website. The court calendar. So it says Wright County Weekly Public Court Calendar. Public. Just remember that. Public. So if we click on this, opens up to another page. Possibly, but we're going to talk about it too. Hi, Vidandra. So then we scroll down here to P. So if you have a look, it says here, I know I'm going really fast. Woo! She'll probably have a go at me, but I don't care. Okay. It says, Catherine Paulson, remote courtroom G. Remember, it's the public calendar. So, it's courtroom G. Well, that's from on the other side of the world. You are correct. Now, I know he believes what remote hearings with face coverings. You may contact the court by email. I'm just trying to find where I found the number the other day. Someone told me how to get there, and I can't remember. Phone number for courtroom. I found it the other day. Well, that's right. COVID orders and information. It was in there, I think. Can't believe it. I should have saved the screenshot when I found it. Oh, here we go. Oh, they will. Remote hearing information. I think it says sign up to receive remote hearing. No. Okay. I cannot believe it. I can't find it. Right. Hello, Bo. Other COVID-19. I can't find it now. I don't know why. Anyway, making me look like a fool. But I did actually show you the documentation that was sent. Court rules. So anyway, so we know that it was there, and we know it was what was it? Courtroom remote courtroom G was the courtroom. Okay. Maybe, Laura, the date has passed. Oh, that's true. The other thing is that what I find to be really interesting is that KJ could have, Little Miss Noble could have had 32 witnesses. I know B was there. That's right. That's who I was talking about. Yeah, that's who I was talking about. I know that B was there. And she said that she emailed the court. So people were emailing the court. Anyway, so let's go to Instagram because I think that's the other thing, is that it has been put out to the world by his mother, and that's the sad part about it all. All right. Alrighty, so we've got more stuff here. Did you have a busy day yesterday? Today? No, I'm not looking at Pacer. I'm actually at the Minnesota, because apparently you can't get it on Pacer because it's not federal. So she's talked about John Goslin breaking up with his girlfriend. Frida has something to say, apparently. Not going to let me play it. I would have been there because I was sleeping. Yazbel Brown ditches Arizona, moves to North Carolina. She's moving in with big sister Maddie and her husband Caleb. My understanding now is that if Christine's only got one child home, then she wouldn't need such a big house. But you know, we need to spin a narrative, don't we? Besties, you reunite and it feels good. Is that Joy? I don't know. Is that a Duggar? And then we've got this one, I think. Natalie Kenner, I've asked you a million times to leave me alone. Stop contacting me. Stop inserting yourself into my life and stop blaming me for your choices and actions. You and your friends know what you did. Stop it now. Because now she's trying to play they're now back to harassing me. Full stop. I'm done with this. Expletive. My family has been harassed, stalked, and had police, CPS, and multiple law enforcement agencies involved because of you and your friends. I have restraining orders because of you and your friends. Leave me the hell alone. You know I've done nothing wrong. All of you victimized me and my son. Stop contacting me. Stop protecting your friends. You've already admitted to what you've done, and I'm done with all of you. Leave my son, husband, and me alone. All of you need help. Then someone says, Katie, call the cops on her. If you have an RO on her, then she's breaking it. And she says, it's against her friend. Call the police. Any contact made after a restraining order, after you have a restraining order against them, is breaking the law. And she says, I know, I am dealing with it. The problem is, Katie Joy, is that you poked the bear yesterday by blaming Little Miss Noble for a whole pile of stuff. Wait. Don't you do this too? Didn't you make a career out of stalking people? True, Katie. You insert yourself into other people's lives and situations. Not so much fun when it gets turned around. Maybe, just maybe, this isn't the line of work for you to pursue. If you want your privacy, we all have to make a living. You choose to do your YouTube things about folks in the public eye, but it placed you in the public eye as well. And your family gets dragged in also. It is also part of the package. Ask the Duggar family or the Chrisley family, for example. You put yourself in their shoes. And not just those families. When you place yourself in the public eye, they will look at you and the court of public opinion to judge you. You should be very well aware of this and well versed in this by now. If you do not like this and want it to stop, you have to find another line of work. End of story. And you inject yourself into these families in the public eye. Others will inject themselves into yours. Period. Sometimes you are interesting and have gathered information which would take too much time for most folks, but sometimes you are mean and cruel. Claire Duggar, for example, just step back and think before you post anything else. Take some time to consider your options. I don't know everything, but from what people have said, Katie M is behind most of this. Katie M is behind most of this. She's pretending to be you since last year. It's confusing to Natalie, who can't distinguish the difference. They've preyed on her mental health, so now they're blaming little Miss Noble again. We will be forwarding evidence to your local police. So then she goes, hello, Kitty. Hang on. Ha! This sounds like this is Nat's mum. Hang on. They've preyed on her mental health, used her alters. She is cleared here because of her mental illnesses. And the fact they blackmailed and threatened her, they're still harassing and threatening her to do their bidding. Threatening to kill people she cares about if she doesn't do X, Y, Z. I apologise on my daughter's behalf. She is in hospital after nearly losing her life a few days ago. She's suffering from delusional state of mind in an alternate reality and is severely mentally impaired. Well, how can she be contacting Katie if she's in hospital? Bingo! How? She's saying to Nat to stop contacting her, but this person is saying she is in hospital after nearly losing her life a few days ago. Is that the actions of somebody that would be able to be sending text messages or emails? She is suffering from delusional state of mind in alternate reality and is severely mentally impaired. Hello? Please take no notice. We'll be forwarding evidence to your local police so you can take this further and keep your family safe from those responsible living in the USA. Keep her away from any sort of computer and monitor her use on a mobile phone so she cannot download apps to get on the net. Now, if that looks like that is a picture of Natalie and her mum. Well, I'm saying that sounds like that's Natalie's mother. And if that's Natalie's mother, let's just assume that's Natalie's mother and she's telling her the truth. Then what Katie has written is wrong, because Nat, if she's delusional and she's got severe mental impairment, she couldn't be making contact. Now, if this isn't Nat's mother and it's somebody pretending to be Nat's mother, then Nat could be involved. So what do you reckon? What are you all thinking? And then that means that this Katie is attacking somebody who's mentally ill. Essentially, that's what it means. Who has no ability to be able to make contact with anyone. I would assume that if she's that ill, if she's that mentally impaired, she won't be on the phone. I'm just saying. Look, I am too, but this is bizarre. You think Katie's involved somehow? Here's another tinfoil hat for you. Could Katie Paulson be behind the whole thing? I just throw things out to think about it. I don't know anything about DID. And then now she's saying, I understand people think Anna Duggar is putting her children's safety at risk, but I wish people realised Anna is an abused and battered wife as well. She's in an impossible situation. Her husband is an abusive monster, in my opinion. Yes, Nat always turns up when Katie wants it to. And Nat has not been around until now, and the RO didn't go Katie's way. Just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying. I'm just saying. So, as I said, if that person is Nat's mum, and for example, and that is the truth, then Nat, it's not Nat. Now, I was told that LMN had been in contact with a lawyer regarding what happened yesterday on social media. So I think it would be very silly of LMN to do anything, particularly when she knows that Katie Joy has called her out. So I don't know. Well, see, the reason why she hasn't blocked her, in my opinion, is that it's a big accusation, isn't it? So she says, normalise sympathising with battered women and not condemning them. Anna is living in a world of ongoing systematic domestic violence with Josh Duggar. The IBLP looks at women as property. Violence and sexual assault of women is the norm, not the exception. Please stop and really think about her life before hating on her. She's in an abusive marriage. Her father basically bartered her into this marriage. Wow. The IBLP marriages are often arranged between fathers. Anna doesn't really know what love is. She's been taught that her value is only to be a submissive wife and mother. She's never learned how to advocate for herself. There's some big claims here. She's been denied access to basic human rights like having body autonomy because she cannot say no to sex based upon her religious beliefs. She cannot say no to Josh ever. People I've spoken to allege that Josh is a disciplinarian, and they allege he handles all the corporate punishment of the kids. Anna doesn't have a job, can't work. Josh controls who she can see, speak to, and what she can access online. She's brainwashed and believes that God wants her to suffer. She believes his missteps are her fault. How would you know that it was suffering? Just saying. If you're brought up a certain way and you don't know that way, you could be very happy in that way. I'm just saying, I just throw things out there. I just put things out there. She blames herself for all of this because her religion says that if she was just stronger and a better Christian, Josh wouldn't stumble. Anna has likely been hard and doesn't know it because she can't say no. That's Anna's life. I want her to wake up too, but I know that she won't wake up by anyone screaming at her. I hate that her children could be unsafe, but I also hate that Anna continues to be victimized by Josh while he's under house arrest. These are my heartfelt and humble opinions. Wow. Wow. Oh. Well, she's got sources. She's obviously got sources with binoculars. I mean, I don't want to minimize but there's some big allegations there. All right, so then apparently she's done these stories here. What's this one? Ask me a question. It's been a minute since I've done a Q&A. There are some topics I cannot answer. I will try to respond to some questions. I heard Jessa and Ben bought a new house. Do you know anything? False. Property records in both Washington and Benton County, Arkansas indicate no new purchases by Jessa and Ben. Additionally, there is no house listed for sale. So she's been checking property records. What do you miss on what show do you miss on TV that's off air? What's that show? Main title theme. Something. What did she say? Don't think she answered, did she? What's that show? Oh, that's Gilmore Girls, isn't it? What's your favourite episode of Gilmore Girls? I'm a fanatic too. Wedding Bells Blues, Logan and Rory's first kiss. Well, you've got to think about who does Nat's involvement benefit. And it's just interesting that it's the day after she outed Little Miss Noble. And there is people were saying that Little Miss Noble could get a restraining order out on her. Just saying. How did the drama start with Todd C? My crime is I'm friends with his daughter. His issues start and end with himself. Where did you meet Amy? I've been invited by them to come to Arkansas. Right now with increased cases, I'm delaying any travel plans. I'm vaccinated. Anyway, my son's at risk. How are you doing? Doing well. Hectic with school starting soon, work and busy with family. So she's going to Arkansas. Hello, BS. We were just listening to a live from Unirock that said that everybody's been lying about getting court access. Advice for moving on from a 10-year abusive relationship. I'm sorry your ex abused you. You did not deserve it. When I left my abusive ex, I started therapy. Best thing my psychologist ever taught me was about power and control, real of domestic violence. Therapy is a wonderful tool to learn, heal, and process. In the meantime, be kind to yourself and know you aren't alone. Did she have an abusive relationship? Who's your favorite Golden Girl? Sophia. Second would be Rose. Favorite flowers? Tiger lily or lily. We have multiple lily species planted at our house. We have the clump of tiger lilies and 6-day lilies. I love them so much, but I'm horribly allergic, so they stay outside. That's why she stays inside, because she's allergic to plants she's planted. Cult now's a new group word, yes. Favorite Friends character, Phoebe. Have you ever got a psychiatric assessment? And she says that's a little personal. How's the new merch coming along? We are still working on it. Things got delayed because we don't have any nurses right now. We are stretched thin, but soon. Lorelai or Rory. I want to love Lorelai. But when I became a mum, I realized that Lorelai was a pretty messy mum personality, or more like Rory, introverted, driven, drawn to bad boys, and obsessed with investigating for my job. Now she's an investigative reporter. Team Logan, Jess or Dean? Or Logan, apparently. Did you end up having a pool day today? Yes, though I spent most of the day in the pool cleaning, vacuuming, but we got in and had a blast. So, yes, they did go for a swim today, apparently. Why are you so obsessed with the Duggars? My audience loves the content. I've covered them for years due to the extreme and abusive cult they are members of. I believe more people need to be aware of cults that become mainstream via reality TV. Your favorite painter is apparently a picture. What's your favorite gossip character from Gossip Girl? Never watched them. Here are fundies jumping in a pool. Oops, went on. Can you sum up the Duggars drama? I know they have a ton of kids, but what's the deal? Court in session. Start here. So she's just advertising a video. What's your typical day schedule like for work in YouTube and life? Life is unpredictable here, so we take each day as it comes. I'd prefer not to share my schedule as I have people stalking me right now. But we spend as much time together as a family, which is what life is all about. That's an old video. What kind of dog is Frida? I have a bit of, she's a Treen Walker Coonhound. Can you ask Amy to write a tell-all, because I'd be in line at midnight for it. Amy, Rachel King is worth more to me than a tell-all, but she for sure has a story to tell. It's not one many people know. Do you straighten your hair? It always looks great. My hair is naturally straight. I use a round brush and a straightener to just finish my ends. It's growing out after damage, stress, and hair loss from stress and illness. I haven't dyed it or cut it in months to give it time to repair. I thought it was COVID the hair fell out from. There we go. COVID and the trolls. Hey, oh dear me. This is funny. Well, it's not funny. It's sad, actually. Let's look at Twitter. All right, so her first thing on Twitter today, was she wrote, hello, Wind Whispers. If I've missed you, I really apologize. I don't mean to, you know that I like saying to everybody, saying hello to everybody. If I miss you, I really am sorry. All right, so we are going to swim today, even if it takes me all day to get the pool ready and clean. You mean someone says, you mean you don't have a pool man since you're bringing in the big butts? Hell, even people who can't afford it find it cheaper in the long run. It's such a pain to get the water checked weekly to know how much of chemicals to add when you're in Minnesota. I'm in Florida. They probably has a lot to do with it. We use our pools all year round. I guess 15% of homes have a pool, maybe a little more. Regardless, have some fun. Just so you know, you can sue her for everything she got. The word docs is apparently something Katie doesn't understand. When you look up someone info, even pay for it, you have to check the box on the site to say you will not be putting any of the information out. The person she did this to, you, Glam Guru Life, so you have a case. Wow. She did this. Sue and report Katie. Hey, Psycho, I guess you don't know what doxing is. Crazy. When you look up and pay for info, oh, wow, someone's not happy with it. I had a below ground pool, and I actually had to check the levels every day. It had to be done every day. It was just something that I had to go out and do every day. Every day the pool would be checked for levels, even if we went even in the middle of winter. Winter would be weak. So then she shared some more. Lindsay Chrisley, Natalie Kenner, I've told you a million times to leave me alone. Stop contacting me. So my argument, and then someone says receipts. Receipts. People asking for receipts. That's the other thing. She never shows receipts unless they're really highly doctored. The thing I like about the receipt from the court is that it actually had the header on it. You could see it was from the court. Then I understand people think Anna Delegate is putting her children's safety at risk. I wish people realize that Anna is abused and a battered wife. She's an impossible situation, and her husband is an abusive monster, in my opinion. I'm glad you are finally coming around to this. I've not been able to watch your videos on Anna because of how you had been claiming her. As a survivor of a similar situation, it brought back the anxiety. I stayed because he told me no one cared or believed. Thank you for changing your stance. My stance hasn't changed. I'm sympathetic to her, but that doesn't change that I get frustrated. I'm sorry of your experience. While it may frustrate you, it's important to remember that women in these situations are told what and how they can act. Being objective is empowerment. Attacking women in this situation is not going to change things, but keep them there. Anna is attacked and scrutinized on a global level. I wish people understood that she is already abused, and further abuse doesn't help. Besides, It's not the public that will help her. This narrative is sadly the norm, and women are the harshest. I wish people understood. Yeah. So remember Mary Winkler? Yeah, I keep saying at one point she'd snap because, you know, Josh is demanding things of Anna. And Anna is miserable. Give it time. How do they all know that she's miserable? Hello, whoever's come back from a vacation. I've just missed a whole pile of people. Oh, just got up. I'm like, Shelley, you're on vacation. Wow, nice. So she's not updated her other Twitter since August 14. So anyway, that is everything that, like, it was, as I said, it was a really quiet day on a lot of fronts because of that. Hello, Kristen. So let's see what Todd Chrisley's got to say. There's a lot of stuff happening between Steve McRae. Oh, nice. Harrison had a really good birthday, by the way, too. He's got some Switch games. So that one is a video Katie J posted and her husband meeting there pretending to be Christians. This one, Todd Chrisley says, so this is a response to Steve McRae. You mean scumbag? Ralph is fine with scumbag. So Katie Jo Paulson, when she was faking being a Christian, the only thing I can do is continue to lean on God. I need to try and find comfort that he will take care of me. I need to trust he will take care of my son. I need to give my fears to God. Each night I pray quietly for him to guide me, watch over my son, and help me manage another day. He's my strength. He's my backbone. He's the feet that carry me when I'm too weak to move. I pray each and every day that one day I'll feel less anxious as I pray. I feel more and more calm. One day I know he will carry all these fears. One day I'll feel peace. One day my son and I will be whole. Katie Paulson, July 9th, 2016. Todd Chrisley, yes, she actually faked being a Christian and laughed about it later. Todd Chrisley says, inside Katie's mind would be the most horrific place to ever end up. So that was what is Todd Chrisley. Yeah, so that's what he's done. Inside Katie's mind would be the worst place to ever end up, he says. And then he's got the defamation case, the playlist of the Westbrook case. Let's see what else he says. Then he also said pathetic. It's pathetic. He also talked about, he retweeted about depositions. So Todd Chrisley wanted the information on the Toddy Westbrook stuff. Did anyone catch her Instagram live a little while ago? She's telling that audience that Toddy's suing her because of a supposed relationship with the tax guy, even though people in chat told her that he never said that, and to listen to his podcast, and then blocked by Katie. Proving she knows when she lies and continues anyway. Let the avatar keep talking. Oh dear. Scumbag. Yes, scumbag. It's a great phrase. Scumbag. I didn't put it into the I haven't put it into Ralph's banned list. So what do you reckon about everything that we've seen tonight? Is this Nat narrative made up? Because, see, I'm wondering, here's another tinfoil hat theory. I'm wondering if her lawyer found out what she did yesterday, calling out little Miss Noble, and so she got into trouble. So now she has to set up a new narrative, and so the Nat narratives come back again because she needs to get the focus off her and back onto little Miss Noble again. I'm great with these tinfoil hat theories. These are just speculations, please. These are not facts. I'm speculating. What do you think? She got her tongue lashing from her lawyer. I don't know how Nat got involved again, but she told Nat to Wind Whispers. She told Nat to leave her alone. But yet then Nat's mother replied to her Instagram live to say that Nat is in hospital and is mentally unstable. So then how on earth is Nat contacting her? The reason why KJ keeps Nat unblocked is because she's good to fit the narrative. If she's playing along with the narrative, she's good. When she doesn't play along with the narrative, she's evil. It's like Unirock. When he plays along with the narrative, he's a good guy. But when he goes off and does his own little narrative, he's bad. Now, I was told that sometimes when you're stalked, you're told do not engage but save everything. But she just likes to engage with everybody. Well, as I said, if what Unirock is saying that it sounds like the RO is over that voice recording, right? As I said, I don't know what, I've never heard Dustin. I've heard Little Miss Noble's voice once. Without comparing the two, I couldn't tell you that it was definitely her on the phone. So I don't know how they know it's her. You know, have they done voice analysis? You're confused? That's all right, Meemaw. Everyone gets confused. Oh, well, don't forget we've got A, B, C, D, E, F, and G somewhere in this, somehow playing out in all of this. Oh, I don't either, BS. I mean, he was saying that he rang the court and the court said that the proceedings were private and nobody was allowed in. He was saying he rang the court. They rang the court. They checked with the court. And Katie was correct that the proceedings were private and nobody was allowed in. Oh, cool. Very exciting, Kristen. Nice. Our last trip was over. Wow. Cool. That's it. That's what it is planned to create. You have mixed feelings about it? She did say, in my opinion, but at what point then we get into whether it's qualified opinion based on facts or whether it's, and don't forget, there's a rule that's just come out. There's a rule, apparently it came out of Washington, that says that YouTubers aren't journalists and they can't be held by journalistic privilege. So she may have to hand over her sources. She would be forced to hand over her sources. She's saying that she's based that on some source. So they could do that, even though, because she would have to then state whether it was a qualified privilege. Yeah. Well, I reckon that, Oh, wow, for over a decade. Wow. I just think that she's on a very fine line, particularly about the abuse and her being a battered wife. Have we ever seen, I mean, I don't know whether, wow. So I really don't know, but I think she's working on a fine line. They could definitely issue her one if they wanted to. But if they sued her for defamation, she would have to give up her sources based on the fact. Hello, Christopher Fan. Always haven't seen you for ages. Based on the fact that of the Washington court deemed that a YouTuber wasn't a journalist. So that would kill her. And they couldn't protect this. They couldn't, you know, hide under that. But to say that Anna's a battered wife based on something that somebody told you and then saying it's your opinion is pretty bad, in my opinion. And KJ but decided she wasn't lying, so. Yes, that's right. But again, BS, he's saying that nobody was able to get into the courtroom. He's adamant that nobody got in because Katie told him that nobody got in. That's right. She can't differentiate between the two. Yeah, that's what I think too. But yeah, have a great trip, Kristen. So, as I said, I showed you the email that somebody received. Yeah, he's asking for evidence to come with him with evidence. Nope, not doing that. Well, I did get a copy. Somebody did post the screenshots of the emails on their Twitter, and I did actually share it with him, tweeted it to him. So, but all of the personal details were taken out of it. But I'm sure he's going to turn around and say that I've confused. No, look, I believe that she's been told she's going to sit a deposition. That is what I believe. There's been no official lawsuit as such filed as far as I am aware. I may be wrong. Yeah. But I think Unirock will say that email has been photoshopped or something. Now, first of all, I've got no idea. I have no idea how to use Photoshop. I mean, I can't even do my own webpage. I put together my webpage, but it's pathetic. But I don't have Photoshop on my computer, so I don't have it. And you've seen you see how bad I am at stuff. So, you know. Well, he doesn't need to totally clue this. I guess he doesn't need to do it. He just needs to keep up the narrative. It's more of a power. I think it's a bit of a power play, and it's about keeping them talking. Because remember, when first rule of, from what I've been told, because I don't know, but they say that if somebody starts talking in an interview room in law enforcement, you keep them talking. Or you say something to them and get them to talk and keep them talking. And I think part of his strategy is that if he keeps her talking, she'll put her foot in it. She'll spill whatever that he wants from her. So he's just got to keep the pressure on and keep her talking. It's all about strategy. They're just playing a game. You've got two very manipulative people, in my opinion, trying to out-manipulate each other, if you think about it. If you think about it. Well, he's made some very bizarre allegations. He needs to do it as he promised us all. You're calling him out? There was a lot disclosed in court that wasn't allowed to be disseminated publicly because of the minor. How could that be released to anyone? Don't know. So she's trying to. So Unirock saying that he made contact with the court, and the court confirmed it was private and that nobody should have been able to get in. That's his story, and he's sticking to it. And Katie Joy confirmed all of that information to him. The Fox, to keep them talking, you learn about them, then use them. Yes, that's right. Oh, of course he is. Well, Laura, we already looked up to discover that the courthouse is closed on the weekend, so he couldn't have called. We already also checked to see the court list, and the name is still there on the public court list, so we know that she was in remote courtroom G. We know all of that. Unirock, I know, that's the problem. Well, he reckons he's doing a video on it. Well, who knows? Well, no one will be able to get in. That's the thing. I worked a way around it next time. You just say that you're Little Miss Noble's witness, and they'll go, "Oh wow, she's got 1,000 witnesses." Oh, I forgot to take time. I forgot to do the timestamps for the rest of this. I apologize, everybody. I forgot. I was going to. So just to show you that I am not making this up, because we like to show receipts here. So the Wright County Court, business hours, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So what I'm saying, it says confidential cases and cases that are not remotely accessible are not posted in this calendar. So you click on this Wright County Weekly Public Court Calendar, and that's where we found it. I think, Joanne, not sure if I was being cheeky or a bit. I don't know. I missed what you said, the Fox. Interrogation. Oh, I think that sounds about right. Well, Little Miss Noble, in my opinion, would have an argument about Katie Joy breaching the order, because she called her out yesterday and used her full name. And interestingly, those tweets have disappeared. By the way, those tweets have disappeared. And that's what I find So I'd say she's been in trouble by her lawyer. And I think you'll find that she's got to actually now, that's why we've got the deflection. That's what I think you'll find. Yeah, it's KJ that's brought in the... It's KJ that brought in the minor, from my understanding, but I don't know. Yeah, because you have, yeah, because if you go rest on Friday, you got to wait till Monday. So. Because, yeah, so the fact that those, for me, I just find that I just think that she's been in trouble for sending those messages, and so now she's trying to deflect and get everyone thinking, forgetting that she did say what she said yesterday about Little Miss Noble. You're thoroughly confused and all, that's all right. So is everybody. You're allowed to be. Yeah, she did. She did go for the one. She did. That's exactly what she did. Oh, here we go. Look at this. I've just found it. It tells you how to call. It tells you joining remote hearings. Here you go. Look. Join a court hearing using Zoom. Tells you how to do it. And I believe, they go public access. Members of the public who want to view or listen to remote district court, but could contact the court. Media, we could go in as media. Dawn, you'd have to probably contact her. Oh, look at this. For high interest in-person proceedings, courts may provide video and or audio access. That's what they might do. Best practices for remote hearing, and so you go to the courthouse here, Wright County, and voila. So there you go. And we know it's courtroom G. So anyway, I am going to head off. It's 10:18. I've been online now for over 2 hours. So I am going to head off. Thank you for joining me. I apologise if I didn't say hello to you. But it's great to see you all. Thank you all. It's really appreciated. I have my second hearing appointment tomorrow. I have to have a hearing test with the specialist. Hopefully my ears get a clean bill of health. Hopefully I can be signed off and the problem's fixed. But anyway. If you've missed anything, yes, scroll back. I only got so far. Before I forgot to write down the timestamps. So yeah. So I'll put in what I've got, but we talked about lots of stuff. There's lots of interesting discussions we had, and then the Twitter stuff. But I just think it's very dangerous. I just don't like the narrative that's coming out. Because if, for example, I mean, accusing little Miss Noble of all of this stuff could put her in jail, which would be disgusting, in my opinion, when she hasn't done anything. Well, as far as we know. However, I do believe that she would be laying low. I need assistance. So, yeah. All right. I'll catch you all later. All right. And see you again.